Welcome to the roadmap of the federal procurement process for Indigenous businesses. Undertaken by Cando, this is a strategic partnership initiative for Indigenous economic development organizations and capacity building. This document is a roadmap of the federal procurement process for Indigenous businesses. The purpose of this document is to consolidate information and data around the federal procurement process that resonates with Indigenous businesses and in turn enhancing engagement and capacity in doing business with the federal government. The roadmap is comprised of the following 5 sections. 1. Federal government procurement, the opportunity. 2. How the government buys. 3. Policies and programs to increase Indigenous participation. 4. What you need to do. 5. What you need to know when responding to a solicitation. The first section addresses an overview of working with the government. One of the most overlooked business opportunities for small business owners is selling to government agencies. It is easy to see why it is often overlooked. The process seems complex and laborious. Also, there is a perception of stiff competition by larger and more established companies. However, there are several policies and programs in place that incentivize government to purchase from small businesses. Government procurement is carried out in a decentralized manner. Individual departments award contracts under their own authorities, which vary between the procurement of services, goods, and construction. Authorities refer to the size and complexity of the procurement. Large and complex procurements are centrally managed by Public Services and Procurement Canada. Smaller, low-risk procurements are often managed by individual departments. Further, there are mandates that aim to ensure that the bid selection process considers the potential benefits for Canada and all Canadians, thereby ensuring taxpayer dollars contribute to the socio-economic benefit of the country. The federal government calls this smart procurement, and it ensures the following considerations are accounted for in the procurement process: Indigenous consideration, Canadian content, industrial and technological benefits, innovations, and small and medium enterprises. The overarching principle is for government procurement is integrity, meaning procurement activities are conducted in a fair, open, and transparent manner. The aim is for all suppliers to have an equal chance to be successful in the government market. The government's purchasing approach strives to be transparent. Most often, government agencies buy the goods, services, and construction they need from suppliers that meet certain qualifications and thus are put on pre-qualified list of suppliers. They apply standardized procedures to purchase those goods, services, and construction. If a business is willing to spend the time required to familiarize themselves with these procedures, government contracting can become a lucrative business. The government's electronic tendering services is a one-stop shop for federal procurement and offers various resources to help businesses navigate tenders and educate themselves on how to bid on opportunities. For example, it provides past and current tenders, supply manual, procurement process in full detail, standard acquisition clauses and conditions manual, integrity regime, how to comply with requirements, webinars to learn how to bid on opportunities, initiatives and programs to assist underrepresented groups. Government sales can offer your company an important opportunity for growth and can provide access to a marketplace previously not considered. If a small business can procure a steady government workflow, it has potential to significantly increase the value of the company. Moreover, having a government agency in your client portfolio provides significant credibility in the marketplace, both domestically and in export markets, which can translate into additional business opportunities. The government buys goods, services, and construction year-round. Most importantly, the government buys in good times and during recessions, as it must continue to deliver on its mandates and serve the public. Therefore, government agency can be a solid, steady, and reliable source of revenue. At approximately $22 billion every year, the Government of Canada market is one of the largest in the country. The federal government purchases over 70,000 types of goods, services, and construction from private sector businesses. The chart exhibited here provides a breakdown of the 2020-2021 government procurement activity. A total number of 23,488 contracts were tendered, accounting for a value of approximately $17 billion. Services accounted for 58% of this value, while goods, services related to goods and construction account for 35%, 7%, and 1% respectively. There are 4 broad categories of commodity types that the government procures: goods, services, services related to goods such as maintenance and repair services, and construction. A full breakdown is provided in the appendix of the presentation accessible on the Cando website. Small and medium enterprises received almost 90% of the contracts awarded annually to suppliers in Canada by Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, the purchasing arm of the federal government. In addition, there are opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses to provide goods and services as part of a larger prime contractor's supply chain or as part of the Government of Canada's Industrial and Technological Benefit, ITB policy, outlined further on in this training. To fulfill this mandate within PSPC, the government created a division dedicated to the support of small and medium enterprises, SME, in the federal procurement process. The Procurement Assistance Canada, PAC or PAC. PAC's role is to engage with SMEs to assist and inform them on how to sell their goods and services to the Government of Canada and how to work to reduce procurement barriers to ensure fairness in the process. PAC has regional offices across Canada and should be sought out for information, support, and advice. The Government of Canada also offers additional resources to help SMEs, which includes but is not limited to finding programs and services. Innovation Canada is a digital platform that can match you with the best fitting programs and services from across federal, provincial, and territorial governments. Starting your business, tools and information on what to consider before starting a business, including business plan templates, key regulations, and registration and incorporation information, sector and other economic data. Growing your business, information to help identify opportunities to expand, including information on planning, exporting, R&D, and business support organization. Financing your business. Learn how to fuel your R&D and innovation projects through government grants, contributions, and loans, as well as private sector financing. Get information on tax refunds and credits. Gain access to equity funding. Unlock the potential of crowdfunding. Regional support, programs and services available by region to help businesses succeed. For more information, visit the website for PAC. A link is provided on the presentation, accessible on the Cando website. The success of Indigenous-led businesses compels the government to take notice and respect the valuable role they increasingly play in shaping Canada's future. Indigenous businesses have the potential to significantly contribute to Canada's economic recovery and future growth. But this can only be achieved if Canada works in partnership with Indigenous nations towards full economic reconciliation. Recently, the Government of Canada has specifically recognized the underrepresentation of the Indigenous businesses in federal procurement and acknowledged the immense potential benefits of increased Indigenous participation as an element of economic reconciliation. In the mandate letter of 2019, the Minister of Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, the Prime Minister directed Minister Anand to, quotation mark, work with the Minister of Indigenous Services and the President of the Treasury Board to create more opportunities for Indigenous businesses to succeed and grow by creating a new target to have at least 5% of the federal contracts awarded to businesses managed and led by the Indigenous peoples. Indigenous entrepreneurs truly represent one of Canada's internal emerging markets. The number of Indigenous business owners is growing at 5 times the rate of self-employed Canadians, and Indigenous women are starting businesses at twice the rate of non-Indigenous women. Indigenous people represent the fastest growing segment of the population, and given the tremendous growth projections of their economy, Indigenous entrepreneurship is and will continue to be a driving force of Canada's long-term economic stability. Indigenous businesses contribute more to the Canadian economy than the economic output of PEI and Newfoundland combined. At approximately $30 billion today, Indigenous businesses are expected to grow to $100 billion by 2025. According to a study released by the Canadian Council for Indigenous Businesses, Indigenous businesses have the capacity to supply 24.2% of the goods and services purchased by the government, far in excess of the 5%.